What's up, Totem Pole Nation? This is Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. Today we're getting into the NFL Week 11 primetime games, as well as a couple other games that have, interesting storylines, some, season-ending or altering decisions on the line for some teams. So we'll get into that. Thank you to Sideline Sports Network for the platform. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you want some merch, TotemPoleNation.com is scrolling in the ticker below. That's where you go. Get some good stuff. That's enough talking. Let's get into it.
One o'clock game that'll be an exciting game to watch. Not only exciting, but the storyline. NFC North teams, the Steelers versus the Browns. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is um, out for the season on IR, which is unfortunate. Um, I guess PJ Walker is probably their starter going
DTR
forward.
is starting.
So DTR, wow, okay. Well, excuse my French. DTR is starting. We'll see how he does against the Steelers defense. In this game, I'm going to pick the Steelers. The Browns, they've surprised some teams with some wins, but I'm just not confident in Dorian Thompson Robinson or whatever is DTR. Um, and really exposing that defense. I mean, there's the secondary is somewhat mid for the Steelers, but the defensive line and TJ Watt, they're gonna get after that Browns offensive line. I'm gonna go with the Steelers. But like I said, Kenny Pickett is not a franchise quarterback, and the Steelers have won games because of their defense. Just like the Green Bay Packers did. They ran the ball very well with the two running back system. Obviously, Najee Harris would not be starting. I think they went to Ford to beat the starter. Not Ford, sorry. What's the second running back?
Ford is starting.
No, I'm talking about for the Steelers. They went to the
Warren.
Najee Harris.
Warren.
Yes, yeah, Warren. Excuse me. So yeah, I was going by the Steelers running back, not the Browns running back. So yes,
Yep.
Ford did amazing by the Browns, by the way. But Warren is going to be starting over Najee Harris, which could speculate whether do the Steelers trade Najee Harris? Is he done like body wise? Is he worn down? I'm not surprised that they make these changes, but they're not winning because of the offense. But they ran the ball pretty well against Green Bay, obviously. But the Packers still had a chance to come back, but it was just Jordan Love's two interceptions that really cost them. I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steelers just defensively. I'm not sold on their passing game, but they've shown me they can run the ball a little bit in stretches. But their passing game, it's been mid like all season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Steelers win. The line is Cleveland -1, so they're expecting, a down to the wire last second win for somebody here, and the book is going towards Cleveland, obviously. I'm rolling with the Steelers for basically the same reason. I don't trust DTR in this game at all. Like he looked good in the preseason, but in the game we saw him in the regular season, he, looked like a deer in the headlights. He didn't know what he was doing, and that's fine. He wasn't expected to be a starting quarterback right away, or maybe even at all during his career. So, the expectations for him shouldn't be too high, and because they are going against, like you said, defense that wins games, I'm going to just trust the Steelers here. The Steelers, I think, are the first team since the 50s to have been outgained yardage-wise in every single game through 9 games and have a 6-3 record. Only team since the 50s to do that. So this defense is doing something special this year and keeping this offense in games and winning games. If I were to tell you one thing to bet on this game, take the under. I don't even know what the under is right now. I'm going to look it up. Steelers Browns under. It is a lock. This is going to be a defensive game, two offenses that are already, off and on. And without the starting quarterback for the Browns, we know how good this Browns defense is against Kenny. It's 32.5. So that's pretty low, but I'm going to take it anyway.
Okay. Next game that will be exciting, or storyline wise, is the Jets versus the Buffalo Bills. It'll be exciting. One, because of the AFC East rival. Both of these teams have been very inconsistent. Buffalo fired their offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. Um, the Jets, in the Aaron Rodgers speculation, he plans on returning in mid-December. If everything goes well, and Robert Saleh is not going to stop him if he gets any type of medical clearance by the doctors. He's not going to stop him. Zach Wilson, Robert Saleh is still defending Zach Wilson for whatever goddamn reason. I mean, they get close to winning like the Raiders, but see, getting close is just not good enough. All right. So in this game, I think Buffalo will make some adjustments. I don't really see Buffalo losing to the Jets ever, not ever again, but just a second game in a row in the same season. I don't see them losing to this team. Especially you make changes at the offense position. I feel like they could run the ball more effectively with this new offensive coordinator or this interim offensive coordinator they have that's in staff. And I think Josh Allen will play better. I know he's a turnover machine. And we said in the previous episode yesterday or 2 days ago about how you hide Josh Allen's interceptions and you criticize Dak more than you criticize Josh Allen. So I guess all of a sudden now, the real world has come to America and says, "Oh, Josh Allen's throwing all these interceptions." I'm going with Buffalo. I think Josh Allen will play better, but what type of Josh Allen we're going to get? But I do trust Sean McDermott and that defense despite of injuries. I just don't trust the Jets offense.
Yeah, and if the Bills would have won that game earlier this year, I might be taking the Jets in this game just because I think the quality of these teams is worth splitting it down the middle. But like you said, do I think that Josh is going to have one of the worst games of his season and of the past few seasons, 2 games in a row against the Jets? No. As much as he is a turnover machine, like you said, he is still one of the upper echelon quarterbacks in the league, despite those interceptions, which, as you know, as a Dak guy, I'm all for another guy getting the equal amount of, reprimand that my guy got. But you do have to acknowledge the positives that come with Josh Allen. So I do think that he has a bounce back game against the Jets. I think that, the Bills don't win it comfortably because that is still one of the best defenses in the league. But I do think that they come out of this on top.
Next game, Sunday Night Football, Minnesota versus Denver. Obviously, I wouldn't call this exciting. Let me be honest. I think for TV ratings, this might go down. You got 2 quarterbacks. Well, Josh Dobbs has really impressed a lot of us, especially joining the Vikings so fast, learning the system quickly, and then they won 5 straight. The Vikings did start off 1-4, and they won 5 straight, and they're only 1 game behind Detroit, which I did say earlier in the season the Vikings were going to win the division, but at 1-4, I thought they were going to fall. But as of right now, it looks like they're proving us wrong as of right now. Denver has also improved as well. Russell Wilson is still not playing up to par, even though he only has 4 interceptions a year. But the Denver defense is getting a little bit better. I think the run game is consistent enough to where they're winning games. And Denver's not really beating themselves like they used to with the turnovers. In this game, I'm going to go with this is a toss-up. This could go either way. I'm going to go with the home team of Denver. I'm not picking them because of Russell Wilson. It's going to be because Sean Payton. Now, I get Sean Payton is not on the field playing, but he's an efficient play caller, especially what he did for Drew Brees. I think Sean Payton puts him in the right situation, and I think the defense, will be able to Uh, gets a couple turnovers on Josh Dobbs. So I'm gonna go with Denver. It was very hard, but I'm not sure if Minnesota can handle that loud crowd noise of Denver.
Yeah, I was very 50-50 on this one as well. I'm going to go with the Vikings, though. Um, but it is not because of Russ. Russ has gone full game manager mode this year. And since the defense has picked it up, they've started to win games. Obviously, they're, excuse me, winners of 3 in a row. Um, 2 of them being very impressive teams in, the Bills and the Chiefs, just teams that you wouldn't think Denver matches up with. Russ has thrown the ball at a high clip, high, accuracy. Only 1,800 yards, yes, but 18 touchdowns to 4 picks. That is a very high number. Same amount of touchdowns as Kirk. So while Kirk, yes, has 500 more yards, same amount of touchdowns. So Russ is, completely done a 180 from where he was last year. Javonte Williams is finally getting back up to the speed that we're used to seeing him at. So I was very 50-50 on this one. I just don't know. I think that Ty Chandler is going to surprise some people, and that could be just the worst take of all time. But he, I think, has the potential to be a very good running back, and he's, going to be the starter for Minnesota this week. So I think he is going to surprise some people. And, Dobbs has been playing well all year. He has the highest yards per carry out of any player all year with a minimum of like 50 carries or something like that. So this offense, I think, where Kirk could sling it everywhere and it was the number 1 passing yards offense with the Dolphins. Now it's changed to where they can still sling it with an all-rookie wide receiver and the other weapons they have until JJ comes back. And they can also, put it on the ground with Ty Chandler and Dobbs. So I'm rolling with the Vikings in a close one.
Next game will be Eagles versus Chiefs, the rematch of the Super Bowl last year. Obviously, the Chiefs won, obviously. Now, you could call it if it was pass interference or not. We're in a different year, obviously. Or a different year. We're in a different month, different season. This game, both teams can score on offense, but who can run the ball better? The Eagles can run the ball way better than the Chiefs. Who has better receivers? The Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I get the Chiefs to have Travis Kelce, but when Travis Kelce doesn't get going, all the receivers drop balls for the Chiefs. In this game, the Chiefs defense has really impressed me. This is the best defense I've ever seen. This is going to be very challenging to stop this Eagles offense, especially with that tuck push, that 4th and 1. That's going to be an unstoppable play. Not only that, but when the Eagles run the ball and burn that time possession, they're a very, very hard team to stop. Now, the Eagles D-line will probably do a little bit of harm to the Chiefs offensive line. They struggle just a little bit, but I'm not confident in that Eagles secondary. I've said that all year. I said it against the Cowboys when y'all was surprised to pick the Cowboys to beat the Eagles. I said I'm not confident in that secondary. That secondary is very iffy. It was iffy the first game against the Patriots. The only thing about that is that the Patriots can't finish. So in this game, I'm going to go with the – this might bite me in the ass. I'm going to go with Kansas City, the home team. I'm just confident defensively. Now, both quarterbacks are great, but defensively, I trust Kansas City as a whole over the picking the Eagles. And the D-line is great, but the secondary can't stop Travis Kelce and maybe Sky Moore or somebody else is going to go off. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, another game. I'm super 50-50 on it. The spread is Kansas City -2.5. So obviously the books are calling it close, which it will be. Yeah, I was 50-50 up until we started the show. I'm going to go with the Eagles in this game. I hope I'm wrong, but my gut is telling me that the Eagles are going to pull this off. I just, that the defense of the Chiefs is the best that Pat has ever had on his side, but like you mentioned, he is scrambling a lot. He's out of the pocket a lot. And with the pass rushers that the Eagles have, the linebackers that the Eagles have, um, I just don't know if he's not going to be on the ground, more than 3 or 4 times in this game. So I'm rolling with the Eagles in a close one. I think points are going to be scored for sure, um, even though both of these defenses, don't allow too many points per game. But I'm rolling with the Eagles.
All right, this is it for now for Lambo and Maxwell Sports. All the prime time and exciting games. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Total Pro Nation. If you need your merch, you go to totalpronation.com. But in the next episode, will be all the rest of NFL preview games. Plus, there's probably about 3 teams right now who will possibly have the number 1 draft pick or be close to it. We will let you know in the next 5 minutes of what our thoughts are. But thank you, Silence Sports Network, for the platform. Like I said, be safe out there. It's Total Pro Nation, Lambo and Mass World Sports. We will catch you in the next 5 minutes.